What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFux here. And this is something that I've been meaning to talk about because this happens a lot, unfortunately. But can we talk about how you will have a quote-unquote professional job, right? You're required to wear certain clothing because it's a white-collar job, aka you need to be dressed up. You need to be in business casual or business professional clothing. However, you would think if you are working a professional job, a white-collar job, and you are required to wear business professional or business casual clothing, you would assume you would be getting paid a decent wage, a decent salary. And unfortunately, that seems to not be the case. I feel like a lot of us have just been sold Woof tickets, okay? If you don't know what Woof tickets are, you've basically been sold a lie. You've been given misinformation, and it really is annoying when you sit down and think about it because it makes no sense. What is the purpose of telling somebody they got to wear a suit and tie, slacks and a button-up, a dress or a pantsuit, etc., but then you're paying them poverty pay? It doesn't make sense. You want someone to be business professional, but you're not providing business professional wages or business professional salaries. A lot of times when people hear white collar, there's this assumption that you're rolling in the dough, you're making a quality living, you're at least middle class or better. And the sad situation is we're not. we're simply not. A lot of us are not making that money. I work at a nonprofit and I am required to wear business casual or business professional clothing. And I like what I do. I say this all the time. I genuinely love helping people and serving my community. It is an honor to be able to do this. Quite frankly, I'm literally helping people get out of debt, improve their credit scores, become homeowners, open up businesses, go back to school, get certifications, get degrees, better themselves and their families. So I enjoy what I do. It is dear to my heart. I want to see my community thrive. I help low to moderate income people such as myself. I help Black, brown, Hispanic, Latino, Native American, white, Asian Pacific Islander. I help people, right? I love what I do. However, the pay is not good. And again, business professional. I got on a jacket right now, but I'm wearing black slacks, black dress pants, a polo right now. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of work that I do. But when you look at our salaries and our wages, it does not reflect the type of work that we do. And to me, it just further creates the lack of incentive for people to want to stay in these types of jobs. The lack of incentive for people to want to stay in these fields. And this is one of the reasons why in my opinion, you're going to continue to see labor shortages, because why should people be going in the fields that are not lucrative? I'm going to just keep it real. As long as we're living in a capitalist society, people cannot afford to work jobs that aren't going to pay bills. And then let's be real here. In order for us to truly thrive and prosper, you need to be earning more than just you paying the bills. You should also have a savings, a checkings, investments, retirement. You should also have money to buy things that you want sometimes. It shouldn't just be about you working, nonstop to pay bills. There should be more to life than that. And when you look at a lot of these jobs, they are not paying people enough to actually thrive and prosper. A lot of us have full-time jobs and still have to have part-time jobs, second and third jobs, multiple side hustles, all of this stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. When I look at me, I've got a full-time job, I've got a part-time job, I've got multiple side hustles. I'm doing a lot just to stay afloat. despite the fact that I work 40 plus hours a week at a full-time job, despite the fact that I have 9+ years of direct work experiences. This year, 2023, will mark 10 years of direct work experience related to my field in my education, despite the fact that I have a master's degree, a master's of arts and social sciences with a concentration on women, gender, and human sexuality, U.S. history, and politics. Undergrad, bachelor's of arts in sociology. Undergrad, 2 associate's degrees, an associate's of arts and an associate's of liberal arts and an associate's of general studies. Countless certifications, because a lot of times in these fields, you are required to do continued education credits basically for the rest of your life if you decide that you want to stay in this particular field. So I'm constantly having to get recertified in numerous certifications. So, I'm a lifelong learner as well. And what gets me is, what is the purpose of getting certified if I'm not going to get a pay increase? Like, it's really getting to the point where, what are we doing? And just like today, we had a meeting discussing new grant opportunities and the grant that we're going to be coordinating. And, you're talking about $1 million or more grants, yet you're not paying your employees a living wage. I've been at my job for over a year now. You know what I mean? It's been 15, might as well say 15 and a half months. And I haven't got a raise. And it's just like, what are we doing? And like, how are you as a CEO, as an executive director, as a vice president, as a business owner, whatever, you're in a leadership role. How are you comfortable talking about $1 million grants to your employees who are literally robbing Peter to pay Paul? Your employees have to have second and third jobs. Your employees are considered low income by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And yet, you're constantly asking your employees to do more work, adding additional work, expecting us to go above and beyond, and we are being paid poverty pay. I make $40,000 a year before taxes and deductions. After taxes and deductions, I make $28,600. I'm losing darn near $12,000 a year. Basically almost $1,000 a month, basically, is what I lose in taxes and deductions. And I'm not really seeing how this is a benefit. Like, it's not a benefit. I mean, at this point, and there is no work-life balance because we're always at work. I mean, if you think about it, 8 or more hours out of the day is spent at a job. It is ridiculous. I don't care how you try to twist and turn it. It is ridiculous to even try to tell somebody that they're somehow getting a work-life balance. We don't get 40 hours back. We get 16 hours. Some of us. It's a privilege to get 16 hours. You get Saturday and Sunday if you're lucky, or 2 days out the week if you're lucky. And how is 16 hours a work-life balance when I just gave you 40? It's not a work-life balance. Okay, and then for a lot of us, because we're not paid living wages, our so-called days off, our so-called weekends are not even weekends. We're working our second and third job. We're working our part-time job. We're working our side hustles. A lot of us, because we were at work all week, all of our errands and things that we need to get done for the family, for our dependents, for the house, for our home, has to be done on our days off. So it's not a day off. There is no work-life balance. We're not being paid living wages. We really don't have decent benefits. I mean, my God, we have high deductible healthcare plans that are $2,000 or more. We barely get $2,000 a month at our job. I don't even get $1,200 every 2 weeks. Yet, and that's what I mean by like, where's the incentive for people to work in this day and age? Because I don't see it, and then also I've learned very quickly, salary is not what it's all cracked up to be. Because basically, if you're not making six figures or close to six figures, then being salary, in my opinion, is a waste of time, because you're going to be doing a lot of free work and providing free labor and not being compensated for the labor that you're doing. Because on average, we're working an additional 5 to 10 hours a week. And those 5 to 10 hours a week through a month add up. And that's a lot of unpaid labor. And it's exploitative at the end of the day, And like I said, we're not making enough money to live adequately at all. Most of my money is literally going to bills. And it's just like, what is this? So I just wanted to talk about that because, like I said, I'm business professional, as you can see. I am business professional. I've got on a coat or jacket right now because I'm in the car. But I'm business professional. And business casual, business professional. 2023 marks 10 years for me of direct work experience, a master's degree, numerous college degrees, numerous certifications, and I'm not paid anything. And if we're going to break it down, hourly after taxes and deductions, I make $14.92 an hour, and that is bogus. So yeah, I see why people are frustrated. I see why people are tired. And then, like I said, inflation is 7.2%. A carton of eggs is running people $5, $6, $7. Some people are already paying close to $10 for a carton of eggs. Rent is still sky high. The cost of living is still sky high. Property taxes are due next month in February. And people are tired. I just got my W-2s today. And normally I wait till about March to do my taxes, but honestly this year I'm probably just going to go on and get them taken care of because I could use the extra cash. I could use the extra income. And then the effed up part is, what's the point? You get the money from the taxes and then it's just going to go right back to the state, to the city, to the federal government, because like the minute I get my taxes, I got to pay property taxes. So again, how are we benefiting from this current system? We're not. In my opinion, we're being exploited and taken advantage of.